Warning, this podcast contains unfiltered logic, unlicensed sarcasm, and a level of American patriotism that may be unsuitable for authoritarian personalities. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome back to Data and Dissonance, your signal in the static this 4th of July week. I'm Brian, MAGA to the bone, freedom always, and damn proud to be doing this on the week America remembers why it broke up with tyrants in the first place.
I'm Daniel, your partner in chaos. Equal parts firebrand and skeptic. I'll tell you exactly what I think even if it pisses everyone off, because that's the point of this country, the right to say it.
And I'm Rachel, your neutral observer with razor wire edges. I don't take a side for the sake of it, but I sure as hell know which side hates freedom right now. Happy Independence Week to the people who actually want America to stay free.
We're in talks with a couple potential sponsors, so if you want to support real independent, freedom first talk, hit us up. And later in the show, we've got our Patriot Minute, a spot we'll use for the stuff that matters to you, no corporate filter. Let's kick it off with Trump authorizing those strikes on Iran-backed militias after they hit our bases. This wasn't a warning shot, it was real punishment. And you gotta love how the same people who whined he was Putin's puppet for years suddenly call him a warmonger for defending our troops.
Exactly. It's hilarious how fast they flip. They've spent years saying he was weak, soft on our enemies. Then he actually hits back. Suddenly it's Trump starting World War III. You can't take these people seriously. And then there's Al Green with his impeachment stunt. Absolute clown show.
Right. That was the best part. Al Green files impeachment articles claiming unauthorized use of force. Like Trump just went rogue. Even his own party couldn't stomach it and voted it down fast because they knew how it would look. Herman D. Kozatsi, Dems, vote to protect Iran is not a great midterm slogan.
The whole thing exposed them. They're so obsessed with hating Trump, they're willing to give Iran a pass for attacking our soldiers. Trump said it best at his rally. If you hit us, we hit you back twice as hard. That's the commander-in-chief we actually need.
And let's be clear, the left doesn't have any problem with bombing people. They just want to be the ones in charge of it. They were fine funding Ukraine to the tune of billions without blinking. But Trump protecting Americans? That's suddenly a constitutional crisis.
And the media's spin was priceless. The second Trump did it, the headlines all screamed escalation and danger. Meanwhile, Iran literally provoked it. They're just mad he didn't send them pallets of cash and an apology tour like the last guy.
It's the same playbook. Burn the American flag at home, then act like you're the moral compass when the president says, maybe we shouldn't let our soldiers get blown up for free. Meanwhile, they want our border wide open for the same ideology to waltz right in.
Al Green trying impeachment was so on brand, though. He knew it wouldn't pass, but it wasn't about passing. It was about getting on MSNBC to call Trump a tyrant, while ignoring that Trump actually asked Congress to back him on border funding, unlike Biden, who ruled by fiat.
Exactly. And when even Nancy and the squad won't back your impeachment attempt, you know it's a loser. But it still says everything about the left's priorities. They'll oppose anything Trump does, even defending our own soldiers.
Trump did what any serious president would do. Send a message that attacks on Americans aren't free. It's refreshing to see someone who doesn't apologize for defending us. The left hates that because it proves strength works, and they can't stand Trump being strong.
And the best part? He didn't even flinch. No apology, no walk back, no we regret escalation. Just, we hit them, they deserved it. Next question. That's the energy the rest of the world understands. That's why they respected him, even if they didn't like him.
And it's not just about Iran, it's about the message it sends to every enemy. If you attack Americans, you pay a price. That's how you deter more attacks. The media can whine about tone all they want, I'll take a president who puts Americans first over a diplomat who puts us last.
And let's not forget, the same people screaming, warmonger, were fine with endless wars as long as Raytheon was writing the checks. The difference is Trump actually wants to win or stay out, not bleed out slowly for defense contractor stock prices.
Preach. The left's problem isn't with war, it's with who is in charge of it. Trump refuses to play the globalist game. That's what they hate. And this impeachment stunt just exposed how unserious and unpatriotic they really are.
Yep. At the end of the day, I'll take Trump's approach any day. Don't start fights, but if someone hits you, you finish it. That's not warmongering. That's being a grown-up in a dangerous world. And they can't handle that because it shows their weakness.
All right, shifting gears to the border, Trump's house. Republicans just passed what they're calling the Big Beautiful Border Bill. It's the toughest immigration reform ever pushed through the House. Billions for new wall construction, mandatory e-verify, more agents, drones, ending catch and release, asylum fixes. It's basically everything the left calls racist, but most Americans call common sense.
Yeah, it's about damn time. Trump isn't waiting for the Senate to hold his hand either. He's signing executive orders while they bicker. DHS is ramping up enforcement. ICE is hiring thousands more agents. And the military is literally building sections on federal land without new funding. It's the kind of leadership people wanted years ago, but were too chicken to do.
And predictably, the Senate Democrats are losing their minds. Schumer's on TV calling it draconian and inhumane while offering their compromise plan that includes, you guessed it, blanket amnesty for dreamers and slashing the wall money. It's not a negotiation, it's a bribe to keep the border open and the voter rolls growing.
And Trump's answer? No border, no budget. He's already threatening to veto any spending bill that doesn't include real border money. He's daring them to shut it down. And honestly, let them. Let Americans see exactly who's blocking security while screaming about Ukraine's border like it's sacred ground.
I'm telling you, that House vote was huge. Party line 218 to 205. McCarthy and the Freedom Caucus were finally on the same page for once. They're saying, no border, no budget, is their line in the sand. And Trump's already out there at rallies hammering Senate Democrats for being more worried about foreign aid than American security.
Plus, the media framing is so predictable. They're calling it Trump's authoritarian immigration agenda, while ignoring that it literally went through Congress like it's supposed to. They only cry about process when it's something they hate. When it's their executive orders, suddenly democracy is great.
And don't forget why they're really mad. Mandatory e-verify kills their voter import scheme. Can't hire cheap illegal labor if employers actually have to follow the law. They'd lose their donors and their future voting base in one shot. This bill nukes that plan.
Exactly. And Trump's not just talking, he's doing. He's got DHS rewriting asylum rules, so you can't just walk in and say, I'm scared anymore. He's ordering deportations for criminal illegals without the 10-year legal drama. It's actually putting Americans first, which is apparently controversial these days.
And you know what's wild? Polls are showing a majority of Americans want tougher border security, even in some blue states. The media pretends everyone wants open borders while normal people are watching fentanyl deaths skyrocket and wondering why our kids have to pay the price for someone else's failed country.
That's the thing. Trump says it outright. We will secure our border before we fund anyone else's. And you watch the media have a meltdown. How dare the president prioritize Americans? It's the most basic, no-brainer promise. But for them, it's fascism.
And it's not just about stopping illegals. It's about stopping the cartels, the fentanyl, the human trafficking. The left acts like, if you want a wall, you hate brown people. Nah, I hate watching kids overdosing on pills cut with poison and traffickers making billions.
Meanwhile, you have mayors in sanctuary cities crying they're overwhelmed. No kidding. You asked for this. You called yourself a sanctuary, and now you're mad Texas and Florida are busing people to you. Suddenly they want federal help, but only to make sure they don't have to change their own policies.
Honestly, it's the first time in years I've seen Republicans actually hold a line. No border, no budget should be their mantra forever. It's the only leverage they have. And if they cave, their voters will remember it.
Damn right. Trump's message is clear. This isn't just a policy fight. It's about sovereignty. Either you have a country or you don't. And if the Senate Democrats want to block it, fine. Let them explain to voters why they care more about illegal aliens than Americans.
And that's what this is about in the end. Priorities. Democrats want new voters, cheap labor, and permanent power. Trump wants a secure country that actually enforces its laws. It shouldn't be controversial, but in 2025, apparently, that's revolutionary.
All right, quick break here. This is the part of the show where we keep it real with you all. We don't have any big corporate sponsors yet, though we're in talks with a couple. If you want to support real independent, freedom first talk that doesn't answer to anyone, let's talk.
Yeah, if you're a small business owner, a veteran-run company, or anyone tired of seeing every ad buy go to woke networks that hate you, hit us up. We're looking to partner with folks who actually want America to stay free.
And for our listeners, you can help too. Share the show, rate it, tell your friends. That's how we keep doing this without having to water it down for anyone. Every time you spread the word, it's one more middle finger to corporate media gatekeepers.
Later on, we've got our Patriot Minute coming up. Our spot to say exactly what matters. No corporate filter. We're serious about this being the show for people who want the truth, even if it hurts.
All right, that's the break. Let's get back to it. Because nothing says independence like telling the truth when they really want you to shut up.
All right, let's talk about the 4th of July coming up this week and what Trump's administration is actually doing to keep people safe. DHS and local law enforcement are on high alert, but let's be clear, it's not because of families waving flags or grilling burgers. The real threat is the usual suspects, Antifa types, anarchists, and these No Kings protesters who think the holiday is fascist propaganda.
Exactly. And you know the media won't frame it that way. They'll run headlines about domestic violent extremism with scary music behind it and try to lump in any Trump supporter who wants fireworks. But the reality is, the only people calling for disruptions and street blockades are the same left-wing radicals who want to abolish America.
Yep, these No Kings types love to chant that they're against tyranny. But what they really want is to replace it with their own brand of control. They talk about decolonizing the 4th of July while waving black flags and spray painting statues. It's a rejection of the country itself. And let's not kid ourselves. That's where the violence risk is coming from.
Trump's DHS isn't messing around. They're putting National Guard on standby in some big cities, coordinating with state police, making sure parades don't get turned into riots. And of course, you have left-wing mayors screaming about authoritarian overreach, which is rich coming from people who wanted vaccine checkpoints 2 years ago.
God, that's so true. These mayors want to ban gas stoves and charge you for plastic bags. But Trump sending the Guard to keep your family safe at a fireworks show is suddenly tyranny. It's clown world logic. Meanwhile, they're ignoring the fact that these Antifa networks are online, openly planning disruptions and vandalism.
And what kills me is the hypocrisy. They spent all of 2020 telling us protests should be fiery but mostly peaceful while cities burned. And now they're panicking that Trump might actually stop that from happening again. Sorry if I want my kid to see fireworks without inhaling tear gas because some idiot throws a brick at a cop.
It's amazing how every year they try to rebrand the 4th as something shameful. They'll tell you it's about genocide, colonization, slavery, anything to make you feel guilty about loving your country. That No Kings slogan is just cover for No America. They hate the flag, hate the Constitution, and they're not shy about it anymore.
Right. And they're organized too. These aren't just a couple college kids with signs. They've got funding, networks, bail funds, lawyers on speed dial. And while they're coordinating online, the media runs defense for them, pretending it's all just passionate free speech. But if a bunch of veterans want to wave flags, suddenly it's a militia threat.
Honestly, that's the point Trump's team is making. They're not going to apologize for taking security seriously. They're treating these threats like the reality they are, and they should. Because the second something goes wrong, these same critics will blame Trump for not doing enough. It's classic, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
And the media's complicit. They love to blur the lines between peaceful patriots and actual violent actors because it keeps everyone afraid. It lets them push that narrative that MAGA's dangerous while ignoring that Antifa cells have literally firebombed government buildings.
Plus, let's be honest, it's not just domestic threats. After the Iran strike, there's legitimate concern about foreign-backed cells trying to make a statement on Independence Day. Trump's DHS isn't going to gamble on being unprepared, but try explaining that to the no borders, no wall, no USA at all crowd.
And let's not forget the cartel angle. While we're distracted by anarchist cosplayers, you've got real organized crime smuggling weapons, fentanyl, and people. Trump's admin has made clear they're watching those routes hard this weekend. Because if the left won't admit there's a border crisis, someone has to.
I'm glad Trump's actually saying the quiet part out loud. We're not going to let radicals or foreign enemies ruin America's birthday. It's that simple. You want to protest? Fine. But start smashing windows and attacking cops and you're getting cuffed. That's the promise.
That's the bottom line, man. They call it authoritarian. I call it protecting your citizens. The 4th of July should be fireworks, barbecues, and freedom, not Molotov cocktails and looting. If Trump's the only one willing to make sure that happens, then more power to him.
And if the media hates it, good. Let them clutch their pearls about chilling free speech, while normal Americans actually get to celebrate safely. Because at the end of the day, that's the real divide now. People who love this country enough to protect it, and people who want to tear it down.
All right, before we dive back in, let's hear from one of our favorite fake sponsors, Founding Fathers Emotional Support Animals.
Because when you realize the government's ignoring the Constitution, you might need to hug something before you rage post on social media.
Choose from our carefully bred line of libertarian Labradors, constitutionalist cats, and federalist ferrets, all trained to bark at bureaucrats and pee on your HOA regulations.
Don't suffer alone. Get a Founding Father emotional support animal today. Because if Jefferson had a therapy goat, maybe the Alien and Sedition Acts would have been vetoed.
Side note, all sales are final, and emotional support animals cannot testify before Congress. Yet.
All right, let's lighten it up a bit. This is our 4th of July fail segment, because nothing says America quite like trying to celebrate freedom and accidentally blowing up half the cul-de-sac. We've all seen it. Uncle Bob with too many Coors Lights thinking he's a licensed pyrotechnician.
God, yes. Like the time my neighbor thought he could save money with homemade fireworks. Turns out PVC pipes don't have a user manual for a reason. We spent half the night hosing down his lawn while he explained he got the formula from Reddit.
I'll never forget the guy who tried to launch a mortar out of his hand because he thought it was a giant Roman candle. It wasn't. He literally went to the ER in an American flag tank top screaming, "I regret nothing." Freedom has a cost, apparently.
And then there's the dads who become instant military tacticians when the grill catches fire. Form a line, get the hose, call the dog off the burgers. Meanwhile, the fireworks are going off sideways into the neighbor's trampoline.
Or the people who light off $500 worth of fireworks in 5 seconds flat because they didn't realize the fuse was all connected. Congratulations, you just napalmed your driveway and gave the HOA president a heart attack.
True story. I once went to a party where the hosts insisted on professional-grade fireworks, but didn't have professional-grade sense. They launched them from a wheelbarrow full of sand that promptly tipped over. Instant neighborhood evacuation drill.
Let's not forget the classic Roman candle duel. 2 grown men, 20 beers deep, deciding to LARP as wizards shooting fireballs. Nothing says patriotism like third-degree burns and explaining to your kids why dad has bandages on his ass.
And don't even get me started on the people who think drones replace fireworks. Listen, Chad, no one wants to see a pixelated bald eagle in the sky set to Coldplay. We want explosions. We want people screaming, "Marika," while hiding behind the cooler.
Honestly, you can always tell it's a good 4th when the local news runs the same story. Officials warn against amateur fireworks. Cut to B-roll of last year's garage fire. It's practically a tradition. And let's be real, we're still gonna do it.
Look, at the end of the day, it's America. We're not gonna stop lighting stuff on fire in the name of liberty. Just maybe don't aim it at the propane tank this year. And if you do, at least film it in landscape so the rest of us can enjoy it on YouTube.
100%. Firefighters are the real MVPs of the 4th. God bless the folks spending their holiday explaining why you can't douse fireworks with Mountain Dew. Remember, kids, stop, drop, roll is not supposed to be part of the party games.
And for the love of everything red, white, and blue, don't try to outrun the artillery shell you lit. You can't. Physics is undefeated. If you want to make America great again, keep your eyebrows intact this year.
Seriously, enjoy the 4th responsibly. Have fun, blow stuff up, just don't blow yourself up. Because nothing ruins a cookout like the phrase, "tourniquet now." That's our public service announcement for the holiday.
God bless America, land of the free, home of the hold my beer. Watch this. Don't change a damn thing, just maybe have a fire extinguisher nearby.
And that's our list of 4th of July fails. If you've got your own, send them in. We'll read the best ones next time. Because if there's one thing uniting Americans, it's our stubborn refusal to read the safety instructions.
Before we hit our final segment, let's check in with today's other completely made-up sponsor, Patriot Proof Sunscreen.
Engineered specifically to protect you from the harsh rays of a government overreach. SPF 1776, because freedom burns brighter than the sun.
Goes on clear, smells like liberty, and repels not just UV rays, but also nosy neighbors asking how you voted.
Warning, may cause sudden urges to read the Declaration of Independence aloud at the pool. Not recommended for communists, Karens, or HOA presidents.
Available wherever personal responsibility is sold. Because when tyranny shines too bright, you need the only sunscreen that says no.
All right, for our next bit, because we love America, but we also love to roast ourselves, this is how to tell if your neighbor is too patriotic. Because yes, that's a thing. Like if he's got more flags than fence, that's a first sign.
Yeah, when the HOA says one decorative flag, and he responds by lining the whole yard like Normandy on D-Day. If you can't find the door without saluting twice, he might be a little too into it. God bless him, though.
Or if they have so many bald eagle decals on their truck, you're worried the birds are going to unionize. Bonus points if there's a Punisher skull wearing an American flag bandana. That's a man who doesn't just love freedom. He wants to punch it in the face.
And let's not forget the guy who turns his front yard into a literal reenactment site. Cannons, mannequins in Revolutionary War uniforms, the works. Neighborhood kids are getting history lessons, whether they want them or not.
Or the barbecue guy. You know the one. American flag apron, holding two spatulas like crossed sabers, demanding everyone take a shot of whiskey before they get a hot dog. If he's quoting the Second Amendment while flipping burgers, certified too patriotic.
And the music. Oh Lord, the playlist that's just Toby Keith, Kid Rock, and courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue on repeat. By the end of the night, even the dog knows all the words to Born in the USA, and everyone's singing it wrong?
Then there's the fireworks hoarder. Spends $2,000 at the stand, calls it stimulating the local economy, and insists on lighting them himself even after losing an eyebrow last year. If you need a spotter and a medic, maybe tone it down a bit.
I love the guy who coordinates a tactical salute with the neighborhood dads. You know it's serious when they're doing synchronized Pledge of Allegiance before the fireworks. It's like a militia, but with more Bud Light. Well, not Bud Light anymore.
And then there's the social media warrior. Posts a different flag selfie every hour with captions like 1,776% done with tyranny. Has opinions on musket maintenance. Sends you memes about taxation being theft at 3 a.m. We get it, buddy.
Look, we're just saying, love your country, wave your flag, but maybe don't scare the Amazon delivery guy into thinking he's crossing into a sovereign nation with its own constitution. Let's keep it celebratory, not secession-y.
Yeah, moderation is key. By all means, light up the sky. But if you need FAA clearance for your fireworks show, you might have gone too far. And for the love of liberty, don't aim them at Steve's pool. He's still mad about last year.
Honestly, though, these are our people. Over-the-top, red, white, and blue bleeding lunatics who will give you the shirt off their back as long as it has an eagle on it. Wouldn't trade them for the world.
That's America, baby. The land where you can be too patriotic and everyone just nods and says, yeah, but at least he loves his country. So cheers to those guys. Just maybe get a fire extinguisher this year.
Absolutely. We tease because we love. It's the 4th. Be ridiculous, be loud, be free. Just try to keep all 10 fingers for next year. And if you've got your own 2 patriotic neighbor stories, send them in. We want to hear them.
Because let's be real, if you don't know someone like this, you probably are the someone. And that's okay. America was built by people who went a little too hard on freedom. Let's keep that energy, just maybe without the property damage. All right, it's time for Rachel's Red Pill. Let's get something straight about Independence Day. This holiday isn't about fireworks, barbecue, or Toby Keith on repeat, though those are all fine perks. It's about saying no. That's what America was founded on, a giant, defiant no to a king who thought he owned us. But somehow we forgot that. We act like independence is just a yearly costume party where we drape ourselves in flags while letting unelected bureaucrats tell us what to do the other 364 days. We're so busy feeling patriotic, we don't actually practice it. Saying no means telling the government it doesn't own your body, your property, your speech, or your kids. It means refusing to be intimidated by social pressure or corporate blacklists. It means telling so-called experts to pound sand when they demand obedience without accountability. Freedom isn't polite. It's not supposed to be comfortable for tyrants. It's supposed to be messy, loud, inconvenient, and impossible to control. That's the whole point. It's the promise that you can live on your own terms, even if it offends the people who think they know better. So this 4th of July, I'm challenging everyone listening. Don't just say you love freedom, prove it. Say no. No to creeping control. No to safety as an excuse for surveillance. No to censorship dressed up as kindness. No to living like a subject instead of a citizen. That's the American way. Happy Independence Day.
All right, folks, It's time for our Patriot Minute. This is where we put the spotlight on real veteran-owned businesses, nonprofits, and organizations doing the work that matters.
Today, we want to talk about Mission 22. They're tackling something a lot of people like to ignore once the yellow ribbons come off: veteran suicide. It's a crisis, and Mission 22 is out there funding treatment programs, community outreach, and direct support for vets who need it most.
This isn't a paid spot, it's just respect. They're doing the kind of work politicians love to tweet about, but rarely fund. So if you're looking for somewhere to send a few bucks this Independence Day, or just want to share their info, so someone who needs help can find it, check them out at mission22.com.
That's our Patriot Minute. We believe if you love this country, you don't just thank vets on one holiday, you actually support them when it counts. And if you know a veteran-run business, nonprofit, or cause you want us to feature next, hit us up. All right, as we wrap this one up, let's just say it. America's not perfect, but it's damn sure worth fighting for. That's what this holiday's about, remembering that freedom isn't free, and it isn't easy, but it's always worth it.
Yeah, and part of keeping it free is talking honestly, even when it's messy, even when it pisses people off. If you can't have these conversations, you're not really celebrating independence, you're just going through the motions.
And look, we're gonna joke around, we're gonna roast the fireworks fails and the two patriotic neighbors. But at the end of the day, we all want the same thing, a country that stays free. That means saying no to the people who think they own you, and yes to the people who'll stand up beside you.
So enjoy the 4th, folks. Light the grill, light the fireworks, hug your family, and if you can, thank a vet. Just maybe don't aim the Roman candle at the neighbor's dog this year.
God bless America, land of the free, because of the stubborn, the ornery, the people who refuse to shut up. That's us. That's you. Stay loud, stay free, and stay safe out there.
You've been listening to Data and Dissonance, the show where free speech isn't negotiable and telling the truth isn't optional. Thanks for spending your Independence Day week with us.
Make sure you're subscribed wherever you get podcasts. Leave a rating, tell your friends, or even better, piss off your least favorite liberal by sending them an episode.
And if you want to help us keep doing this independently, share the show, reach out with ideas, or recommend someone for the Patriot Minute. We're here for the conversations that need to happen, even when they hurt.
Happy 4th of July, y'all. Stay free, stay skeptical, and don't take any crap from kings, old or new. We'll catch you next time.